welcome to Movie Importance Flashback Reviews, where I take movies from the past, break them down, and tell you what I think about them. If you like what you see, of course, hit that subscribe button, join Movie Emporium, hit that notification bell at the top to find out what's coming next, and comment below on any video that you watch my channel. So I hope everyone's staying safe, as well as staying healthy in these uncertain times. The coronavirus, of course, is spreading around right now. Hopefully a year from now it's dissipated and disappeared. And what I wanted to do is talk about a movie that is not very downbeat, very fun, very exciting, kind of over the top, and a little extreme in a lot of places, but I enjoy it as a guilty pleasure. And if you watch the beginning, you know what I'm talking about. It's, of course, Major Payne. Major Payne, of course, is 25 years old this year, which is pretty crazy. It brings in, of course, Damon Waynes as Major Payne himself, and is directed by Nick Castle, who played The Shape, or as Michael Myers as we know it, and as well as directing The Last Starfighter, which was a kind of a rip-off of Star Wars, but I enjoyed it as well. And this movie, like I said, very over the top, very extreme in its nature, what it's trying to do. It's a very fish out of water story, and gives us a performance that can be quite grating if you kind of don't take it in stride, because the mannerisms that Damon Waynes is doing in this movie, how he's acting, how he's treating the kids, how he's that fish out of water character, can be a little over too much. It can be a little much, but I somehow really enjoy this movie. I don't know if it's the fact that I grew up on it. I don't know if it's the fact that I like Damon Wayans as an actor. I don't know if it's the fact that it's about kids in an R.O.T.C program who are like misfits, kind of like the Mighty Ducks or heavyweights, and they find a way to group together. I mean, I don't know. I really enjoyed this movie. I'm definitely not in this, the camp of not liking this movie. I know a lot of people who do love this movie. And it sees Damon Wayne's character, Major Payne, being thrust into a situation that basically takes him out of his elements, because as we know, Major Payne is something of a character. He likes to kill people, and he is sent over in a war where he basically takes down almost every bad guy. And he is very good at what he does, but he has no personality. He is very rough and wet behind the ears, and he has a way about him. So at the point of the beginning of this movie, when he officially takes down the bad guys, he's given nothing to do. He's taken off assignment, and we get a story that's very similar to at least this part of Apocalypse Now with Michael Sheen, where Michael Sheen's just kind of laying around in the bedroom staring at the fan and stuff like that, and Major Payne himself's doing the exact same thing, but he gets so bored that he sees a rat coming out of the hole in his apartment or whatever, and he kills the rat and eats it. And it's just like, okay, I guess we're going there. I guess this is this type of movie. And so he is offered the chance, or given assignment, to go to this a school, this private school or charter school in Virginia. And he's tasked to basically take this R.O.T.C or JOROTC program and turn them into winners. He's given 8 weeks to basically, or 8 months or 8 weeks or something like that, to turn these kids into a competitive nature of force, where they will take down the school that always wins the championship. And it's kind of like the Goodwill Games or anything of that nature, where they're going to be put through a lot of tests, that kids get put through. If you see heavyweights once again, those types of games I'm talking about. And from the immediate get-go, the moment that Major Payne sets himself on this Virginia R.O.T.C grounds, he is completely out of his element, because he looks around, he doesn't know how to react to everything. The character Tiger, who's the young kid in the movie, he actually came, I think was in like the Just So Raven or something like that later on. He comes running down. Major Payne sees that he's like scared because he's going to get a shot, and Major Payne has this way of making people not worry about the things that are hurting them. So he's about ready to snap the kid's finger, but the character played by Karyn Parsons comes in and basically saves the kid from getting his finger snapped and broken, which is, there's some really extreme stuff in this movie. I'm not gonna lie. There's some things in this movie that would put him in jail, to be an honest opinion. But it's just such an entertaining movie for what it is. It's really, really weird. But basically, Karyn Parsons is the romantic interest in this movie. And you can see Major Payne basically kind of not knowing how to react around a woman. And it's really funny to see. He says some things that, of course, get him in trouble, get him put into kind of the doghouse. How she keeps seeing the goodness of him, I don't know. But he forms a bond, and it really, really weird, really odd scenario. But it is what it is. So we meet the group of kids. Basically, we have the Runts, the Misfits. They're a bunch of kids that are disheveled, and they're the ones that are going 0-12 every season in the hockey league and stuff like that. And Major Payne, in his extreme nature, is just like belittling, and berating these kids. He makes fun of them in every form of fashion. He gets a little racist. He gets a little misogynistic, a little sexist, just a little bit of everything that can just like once again put him in jail. But it's really funny to see because the kids are all game for it. They have a lot of fun with it. We get a character who is named Alex Ship, who's like the bad boy of the entire movie, and he is basically trying everything in his power to corral the kids into getting rid of Major Payne. But he has a past and a history that comes back, or like later in the movie that I'll talk about. But as this movie's rolling along, we have characters like, for instance, Chris Owen, who you remember from being in American Pie and stuff like that. He's that kid who has a lot of allergy problems. Like I said, the tiger character. We have the one that's like the overtop zealous kid. We have the overweight kid. We have the one that's deaf. That gets made fun of a lot, which is kind of crazy. The scenes in this movie, especially with that kind of stuff, is very reminiscent of like Stripes and Full Metal Jacket. They're copying a lot of movies in this, which is really kind of funny. But basically, he tortures the kids in every facet imaginable. They have, like, for instance, he shaves the kid's bald, which is another thing you can't do. It's basically illegal, but somehow he gets away with it. All the kids are shaved bald, and I think they actually shaved their heads. And it was pretty. They're like I said, all the kids are game in this movie, so I have to give it a little bit of credence for that. But he puts, for instance, he makes them do like push-ups and sit-ups. He makes them run around the buildings. He makes them, when they act up. For instance, he puts them in a bunch of mud and stuff like that. And he's like spraying water, like it's. And then there's a moment where, for instance, they have a cupcake that they put a bunch of like chemicals in it to make him like get really sick, so he can like quit the school. Like, throughout the movie, these kids are just trying to get him to leave the school, and he's just thwarting every possible imaginable thing to get away from it. And then of course we have like a segment where the Alex Ship character hires a character played by Bam Bam Bigelow. If you know wrestling, you know who this character is. Big bulking biker guy, and of course Major Payne, being the guy he is, kicks the hell out of the guy, and once again proves that he's good at what he does. There's a point where they are dressed up the fat kid to basically in like women's clothing to take pictures, so it looks like it's like weird kind of pedophile stuff. It seems funny, but when you start thinking about this movie, you start breaking it down. It really kind of, but I don't know. I find it funny. But anyways, he makes all the kids the next day run around in women's clothing, which is actually quite funny. Like I said, when you watch these kids and you watch what they're willing to do and how they react to everything, it's actually kind of a little adorable, I guess. But the major crux of this movie is they want this trophy that they've never won. And in order to get it, they have to compete. But since there's a ragtag group of misfits, they are not getting along with Major Payne. Major Payne's being a pain in the ass. And he offers them the chance that if they can take the trophy from the school that has won it many times, that he will leave the school. And in the process, he has told the school that they're coming to steal the trophy. So there's that whole segment where they get their ass kicked, which is pretty funny. But then it leads into basically Major Payne. Tiger, the young kid, gets left behind because the kids are jerks and stuff like that. And he goes up and starts crying, and Major Payne goes up there and starts telling about the little engine that could. And the little engine that could is the story of the little engine that basically scales a mountain. It's an uplifting story about someone who can rise above their issues and stuff like that. And of course, Major Payne, being the idiot that he is, or the Marine that he is, the story goes off the rails and becomes a horror war story where there are people losing limbs, people are dying, and it is something. It really is. It's one of the funniest segments in the movie, one of the funniest sequences, and I think it was ad-libbed. I'm not really sure 100% because there's not really any information about this movie because it's one of those obscure, weird comedies that you like as a kid but doesn't really do very well. And I have a feeling that Damon Waynes and Nick Castle and whoever else was working on this movie, the scriptwriter, they were writing the script and they had a storyline and idea, but then they started riffing on the story. And I think that Damon Wayans said, I have a good idea about the little engine that could, and we're going to tell a story about him basically skewing it in a wars type story setting. And we're gonna run with it. And everybody was game. You know, Karyn Parsons, like I said, who was playing the love interest, was game, and the little kid was game. And it's it's a memorable sequence. Everybody who has seen this movie loves that sequence, and there's a reason for it. It's a very very funny sequence. But there's also, like I said, it's just a very once again, these kind of things would never fly in today's society. But it also, there's another sequence where the kid gets scared, the little tiger kid gets scared, and he basically leads Major Payne up to his room because there's a monster in the closet. His kids leave, and of course Major Payne takes out his gun, shoots the closet, and of course the monster is dead. Of course the monster was never real, but you know where I'm going with this. There's many times where he uses his weapon to either fire in the air or fire in a closet, and yeah, it's very very funny. But once again, it would never fly in today's society, or it's because you have to kind of look past that type of stuff. But it basically leads the kids into a montage of working together, becoming a better group, kind of like in Stripes, where the misfits kind of group together and they win the trophy. Major Payne, who has been kind of growing fond of these kids, even though he yells and scalds and berates them, he is given orders to go overseas again, and he takes those orders, but he realizes that these kids are more important to him. He sees a flashback with him and Karyn Parsons' character in a house that he always envisioned with the tiger character, and then he fights a bunch of ninjas. But he goes and supports the kids, and the kids win the trophy, and it's happily ever after. He gets the Karyn Parsons character, as a girlfriend, and leads them into the second year group. In this group, there is a blind guy with a dog, and to say that they get a little too much is an understatement, because they shave the kid's head and they shave the dog, and he berates the kid for being blind and being a jerk, and the kid's just being a kid, and that's, in a nutshell, that's Major Payne. And it's all about how far Damon Waynes can go and get away with doing whatever he can to be vulgar and over the top and graphic and extreme, and just every nature possible in this movie. And I love it. I think it's a great movie. I think it's fun. It's something you have to look past and enjoy. It's definitely a guilty pleasure, because it is definitely not a good movie. When you watch it, you see the flaws, and you, like, for instance, like William Hickey's in this movie, he runs a school, but he's like off his nut and stuff like that. He's caring about bugs and stuff like that. But I like William Hickey. I always thought he was a funny character actor. He passed away a few years ago, but I think the only thing that really bothers me about this movie, and it's not the kids, it's not Damon Waynes, who is, like I said, is over the top. It's not Karyn Parsons. There's a sequence where there's Parents Week or Parents Day, where all the parents come and visit the kids, because this is a boarding school or charter school, whatever you want to look at it as. And Alex Shipp's character, we learn kind of why he is the way he is. It's because he has an abusive father, and his abusive father is played by Michael Ironside. And now I like Michael Ironside. I think he's a fantastic actor. He's been great for however many decades, with stuff like Total Recall and RoboCop and Scanners, name it, Starship Troopers, whatever. I think they wanted to give levity to his character, the Alex Shipp character, because I think he goes a little too over the top. But when you're dealing with abusive people, you're doing abusive nature of family members and stuff like that, and you're trying to play it for laughs and stuff like that, and then you're trying to add levity into a movie that's really weird and over the top as it is, don't do that. Honestly, that kind of takes down the movie a couple notches for me, because as much as I like Michael Ironside, I don't want to see him abusing his son, smacking his stepson or son or whatever. And I don't want to see Major Payne have to defend this kid, because the kid has to learn his ways on his own. Has to understand that the purpose of building is to build camaraderie and stuff like that, and you don't need it through abusive relationships. That kind of stuff is built for certain types of films, but for a movie like Major Payne, I mean, this is like putting an abusive relationship in something like Bill and Ted or something like that. It just doesn't make any sense. So it really did bother me. It kind of takes the movie down a couple notches. But with that said, everything else is just kind of fun and enjoyable. And if you get past the ridiculous nature of everything that's going on, and you can get past the fact that Damon Waynes is probably one of the craziest things you see in a teen comedy / action film or whatever, you can enjoy it. I mean, most people enjoy this movie. So I mean, like I said, it didn't make any money. It didn't do very well in the theaters. It was panned by critics. But McHale's Navy or any of those types of films, it's fun, so it is what it is. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I really have on it. Like I said, I enjoy it. So, but let me know in the comments below what you think of this movie. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Is it a guilty pleasure like it is for me? Did you grow up on it like you did, like I did? But anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at the top to find what's coming next. And as always, comment below on any video that you see, including this one. Otherwise, see you guys on the next video. Peace out. What's up, guys? Thank you so much for checking out Movie Emporium. I really appreciate it. If you want to, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification button and the bell at the top. Find out what's coming next for Movie Emporium. Also, check out these 2 videos. They're amazing. I think they're awesome. I think you'll enjoy them too. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.